Hello my friends and welcome back. It's Friday, so happy Friday to you. Yesterday was May the 9th, Den Победы or Victory Day parade in Russia, the most sacred day for them of the whole year. And today is only fitting that we go through all of the footage, the most important ones. We look through the mood, what happened, we look through the faces, and of course we cannot skip memes, so we'll go through them also. Let's begin with the mood of the parade. And for this, we're going to look at some photos taken from the parade. Putin always sits between of the veterans of the Second World War, or like they call it, Народная война, which is like the Great Patriotic War or the Great Homeland War, whatever you want to call it. As you can see, the guys next to Putin, they're very old. Super old. Very soon there's no World War II veterans left because so much time has passed. But looking at Putin's face, we can detect the mood of the parade. First of all, it was snowing. It was not like snow beautiful, but it was this ugly, wet, cold snow. And Russians are very superstitious. And every 9th of May parade that I have seen in my life, it has always been sunny. It's always a meme that why is it sunny? Even if there are clouds, the Russians use their fighter jets to disperse the clouds. And they actually have done this. And if you calculate the flight hour cost of a fighter jet, is it worth it to use them to disperse the clouds? It's a very expensive mission, but they do this. But this time, I guess they have lost so many Su-25s in Ukraine or Su-30s that they cannot disperse the clouds, and the rain and snow came down, and this is why we get sad Putin over here. The next photo is, of course, Mr. Potato Head, Lukashenko, looking like a very sad potato. Because it was cold, it was rainy, and there was nothing to really look at because we'll get to it, but there was no armor. There was one tank, and it was T-34. I should have gone with, it was one tank, and it's not what you think, but hell with it. It's T-34, that's it. Here we see some Russians cheering on the parade, and this guy looking especially happy here. And of course, Putin Jugend getting ready to enjoy the parade, already installed behind the bars, just preparing for the future after the Hague trials. My friends, in this video you can see who led the mechanized column in the parade. Now there was one T-34 tank and there was a guy in it, and who the guy was? A Russian Guards colonel accused of shooting civilians in Bucha led a parade in Khabarovsk and was awarded the title of Hero of the Russian Federation by Putin. So basically these guys who did Bucha massacre, I've been to Bucha 3 times actually, listened to the story countless times. I've seen photos on the same location, like the photos put so they align with the real visual that I saw. It's horrifying. It's genocide in every way, and Russians are parading these people in the tanks for everybody to cheer. They're awarding national hero medals for these guys. So this really tells us what they are and what they value. And this tells me what I must do and what my country must do. I hope the Germans, the Spanish and the Italians read the same message out of it. Here we see a typical mechanized convoy in the parade, and it was also like this yesterday. The only difference is that there was only one battalion worth of BTRs. There was only 1 to 2 tanks, if I remember correctly, and most of the other vehicles were trucks and TIGR vehicles, lightly armored vehicles and self-propelled howitzers. They are lacking BTRs and tanks, infantry fighting vehicles and tanks, and we could see that from the parade. But what this photo shows us is a guy with a drone gun, and there were many of those, and this signals us that they were really afraid of Ukrainian drone attacks. SBU has been demonstrating that they can reach Moscow, St. Petersburg and 1,500 kilometers actually. Later in this video we'll check out the latest oil refinery burning, and it's so far away, and we know the drone was launched from a Ukrainian soil, so 1,500 kilometers from the Ukrainian soil is the range. So they have every right to be afraid of Ukrainian drone attacks, which did not happen though. There were no T-90Ms or really any show of heavy armor on display during the Red Square Victory Day parade today. There was a T-34 TIGR lightly armored vehicle and a BTR-82s, though of which the latter two would make up about a battalion. Only one battalion, and Russia is losing a battalion a day in Ukraine. Maybe it was because the snow, or maybe it was because all of their tanks are on fire in Ukraine. We don't need no water, let that burn. What was on display in abundance were a lot of troops, which unintentionally created a sort of ceremonial demonstration of a meat assault. Lots of boots and no armor. In short, despite the dramatic commentary, the parade provided Moscovians with an accurate portrayal of the state of the Russian army after 2 years of everything is going according to plan in Ukraine. Only meat assaults. And now, my friends, for the cherry on the top, I want to show you how the orcs held their Den Babedi parade, Victory Day parade in Moscow, celebrating genocide. And these are orcs. Literally, orcs. Look at the faces. Of course, before you guys go crazy in the comments, oh, Artur, do you know the song? Do you know? Yes, yeah, everybody knows the song. This was yesterday. Look at the faces. Somebody, look at this. Wait a minute. Somebody really had fun with this, and I'm also having fun with this. Damn, these orcs marching. Yeah, they gotta be wiped off the earth. That's not okay. Let's see more. Wait. I want to see the speech. Boom! We have a speech from Butler, who is, of course, a golem. He does remind me of Kolob sometimes. Now, my friends, let's jump for a moment into history. In Russia, there is the greatest myth and state propaganda that the Soviet Union won the Second War, that they carried the hugest losses and that they carried the Western world to victory. And this myth has also been shared by Russian channels in Western Europe and in the Western world. You know, Russian Orthodox Church talks about this, Russian cultural unions, Russian embassies, everything that FSB works through. Well, let's look at the facts, the sheer numbers. Who won the Second World War against Axis? This is the United States Lend-Lease program to the Soviet Union after the Soviet Union was attacked by Axis. By the way, before they were allies, they were greatest of friends. Before 1941, before Axis attacked, 1939, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, they shook hands to divide the Western Europe in two, to divide and conquer. But here we have the United States Lend-Lease program, aid to the USSR after the Axis invaded. For almost 500,000 trucks, like 500,000 trucks, 6,300 combat vehicles, 7,000 tanks, 11,000 aircraft, 2,300 ambulances, 35,000 motorcycles, almost 2,000 locomotives, 11,000 specialized cars, 4.5 million tons of food. And that food, I've talked about it many times, that very same food, canned meat especially, was eaten a decade later still. You know, canned food doesn't really go bad if you don't open it. Some do, some don't. 10 years later, the Soviet army still, the conscripts still ate United States canned food. There are stories about it because it hadn't gone bad. That's how much food the US sent. 53% of United States ammo production, half of the entire ammo production was sent to the USSR. 57.8% of Soviet aviation fuel came from the United States and several factories. Damn, these numbers are crazy. Looking at these sheer numbers, these sheer facts, I would not say Soviet Union won the Second World War. I would say the United States did, and it carried everybody else to victory. Now, my friends, to give even more irony or weirdness to this historical little pause here, we're gonna watch a video. It's only 1 minute, but it's May the 1st, May the 1st, so it's like a red holiday, workers' holiday. May the 1st, 1941. Yes, 1941, which means in a few months, Germany will invade the Soviet Union, but not yet. There's a few months' time. And what happened before? What happened before the United States gave the Soviet Union this Lend-Lease packet? Before the Soviet Union was partnering with Germany, not with the US. Look at this. This is the parade. Moscow, May the 1st, 1941. What do we have here? These are German officers, the entire cream of the crop of the Wehrmacht. Stalin right here, enjoying the view of soldiers who will invade the USSR only 45 days later. And here we have Timoshenko, I think it is. Yes, Semyon Timoshenko, Soviet general, shaking hands of the German chief of staff. Only in 45 days, about 2 million Soviet troops are taken prisoners within a week because the Wehrmacht's blitzkrieg was total at the first year of the war, of the invasion. And at this moment of this video, the Soviet Union was the greatest ally of Germany, giving them insane amounts of iron ore, oil, everything Germany needed for the war machine to annihilate Europe. And after that, the Soviet Union ran to the United States because they were screwed. Not to joke here, they don't talk about this in history, but they were screwed. Just 2 million men had been prisoners of war under the Wehrmacht. They also took the howitzers, the tanks, everything. The Germans took everything from the Soviet Union, and then the United States stepped. Without the aid of the United States to the Soviet Union, who knows what could have happened, but it's not the Soviet Union who carried the bulk of this weight. It's the US and the Western world. My friends, now we'll talk about, this segment could be called the daily burning Russian oil refinery, because it truly is a daily occurrence now. And I like to visualize things, but I'm no animator. But imagine like every day a kaboom happens and like minus 50 million USD, minus 50 million. That's what's going on with the Russian budget after every cheap drone that Ukraine sends to the Russian oil refineries. Drone is cheap, refinery immeasurably expensive, and you go kaboom, huge money loss. That is me explaining to primates. I like to explain it like that because I like things explained to me like that. I'm sorry, I'm not like mocking you or anything. A range record of 1,500 kilometers. An SBU drone hit an oil refinery in Bashkira. The explosive celebration of May the 9th continues in Russia. In the morning, a long-range drone visited the Republic of Bashkortostan, where it hit the Gazprom Naftokym Salavat refinery. An unmanned aerial vehicle hit a catalytic oil cracking unit. Gazprom Naftokym Salavat is one of the largest oil refining and petrochemical production complexes in Russia. It specializes in the production of gasoline, diesel fuel, and other types of petroleum. And my friends, now let's look at the video. Some guy with a shaky hand is filming that very drone which made the hit. Look at it. That's not a drone. That's a plane. And SBU has been using this before for very long-range targets, which require a lot of explosives. They just use actually these very small civilian planes. They automate them or make them remotely controlled. They install extra fuel tanks, and they install a huge amount of explosives, and they ran them into the oil refinery. It's cheap, it's genius, it's simple and robust, and it does a lot of harm to the Russian wallet. Country's wallet. Minus 50 million. Poof. Knocked out cold. I love it so much. My friends, this attack against this oil refinery was the first attack that was launched from the Ukrainian soil that was 1,500 kilometers. This range has not been demonstrated by SBU or Ukrainian forces before. Yes, they have attacked targets further away, but usually these drones were lifted up from Russian soil. Now, this drone flew from Ukraine. And here we have the circles of range from, updated 1,500 kilometers. This is where Ukraine could strike with their new capabilities now. We have a majority of the Russian population in the striking range. We have majority of the Russian oil refineries in the striking range. And huge amount of factories. Like majority of entire production of Russia. And let's call it then European part. Russia has a lot to lose to these cheap, mass-producible Ukrainian plane drones. It is beautiful, it works, and it hurts the Russian economy, which people don't see. It's like, okay, Russia is still fighting, their economy is growing. These things take time. Russia is working really hard to hide the effects on the economy, but how we can see it is very plain and robust. You see the gas stations in Western Russia, the prices have gone up 20%. This is as robust as it is. The gas station of the world is Russia, has been called Russia. If they have issues with diesel and gasoline, with prices going up 20%, that shows you cannot hide that as a country. you just take a photo of the gasoline prices on the gas stations. They're up 20%. That is really bad. And whatever the Rosstat, the statistics of Russia officially, whatever they say, they hide the data. The gas stations don't hide. This oil refinery stuff is really hurting Russia. An oil refinery a day keeps the Russians away. Yeah, baby, yeah. I love the smell of burning Russian oil refineries in the morning. Me too. Yes, I love to wake up to it. It's on fire, yo! Okay, great memes. My friends, for the last time in this week, I'll play you a little snippet from Kyiv of the handout of the cars. Here you can see the cars and my cars and night vision on the cars and the jammers also. Check out these videos. And my friends, now you can see the trucks behind me and the row is endless. It's beautiful. Many people coming together, uniting their NAFO communities, viewers communities. The fellas donate and now we have 24 trucks, over 500,000 worth of trucks here right now. And as you can see, mine is right here with the two little, what are those things? They are jammers. Usually we have one, but this time Russians are hopping the frequencies of the drones every 3 months, even sooner. So we need to jam several frequencies. Now they still have a lot of frequencies that we cannot jam, but these do save lives. Double jammers on each of the trucks, which adds to the price, but you cannot put a price on human life, so this is why we do it. Now my truck does not have a night vision, but you can see this one right here. You can see this is a night vision camera. Inside there is a screen, so they can drive with full pitch black darkness without the headlights, and they can still see where they're going, and at the same time they have the anti-drone bubble around them, jamming all of the FPVs. Thank you, my friends, for doing this. My friends, once again, I gotta give credit to the Lithuanians. As small as Estonia, they're a Baltic state, but they are electric. They're on fire, not like the Russian oil refineries, but like they're energetic. Sending foreign troops to Ukraine will show Putin that it is not up to him to decide how the West will help. Lithuanian Foreign Minister Gabrielius Landsbergis for the Guardian. I agree with everything. Yes, we set the red lines, we set the tempo of this war, and we set when the war is won. It's not about Putin. And it's about what we do, how we protect our continent right here in Europe, our Baltic borders and Polish border and Ukrainian border. And if it means sending troops to Ukraine because it is in our interest, not because it steps over some Putin's red lines, doesn't matter. It is our interest and our necessity, and we will do it if necessary. Thank you, Lithuanians, for electing such hardcore people to represent you and to represent your country, like the foreign minister, for example. And now I will continue to give credit where credit is due. Poland will build bunkers and dig trenches on the border with Belarus. I mean, Poland is a country, NATO country in the EU. It's a Western country, and they will dig trenches. Can you imagine? Do you have any trenches in Germany? Do you have any trenches in Latvia or Finland? There will be trenches on the European Union soil. That is a very strange piece of news. Real war trenches waiting for the other side to attack and then to make a red mist out of them. And also they will build bunkers. They will build an entire defensive line to the eastern border. And I love it. Everyone who has a border with Russia or Belarus should do it. If they don't, well, there have been plenty of warning shots. It's time to do it now. Poland is doing it. Estonia is building out the border right now. Finland is building out the border right now. Not sure about Latvia. And Lithuania is already showing with all of their actions. I think Latvia is also building out the border. The Minister of Defense of Poland, Władysław borders. And they have already deployed troops to the border areas for the duration of the digging of trenches and building of bunkers. This area will be militarized heavily for the next decade at least. Belarus better not try anything, or Russia through Belarus better not try anything. It will be a steel wall. My friends, I'll bring to you the former Armed Forces of Ukraine Chief Valery Zaluzhnyi. He has now been fully dismissed from the position of the Chief of Staff, of course, but now he has been appointed to a new position, and it's not what you think, honestly. He will be an ambassador to United Kingdom. Now, it's a very important position because United Kingdom has, they can send Storm Shadows, they can send Stingers, they can send a lot of weaponry. And Zaluzhnyi is the right person to be there. Also, United Kingdom has trained 40,000 Ukrainian infantrymen. And Zaluzhnyi will be present in that country, representing Ukrainian interests. I just want to say, I'm a nobody, but still I want to say and guide attention to thank you, Zaluzhnyi, for your service, and thank you for what you have done for Armed Forces of Ukraine. and I wish you a best years of ambassador in the UK. Now, my friends, I gotta continue giving credit where it's due. Germany. People shitting on Germany for not giving enough. My friends, Germany will buy 3 HIMARS systems for Ukraine. They will buy them from the United States stocks and they will donate them for Ukraine. Now, as much as we know, Ukraine has lost 3 HIMARS systems by now. 1 destroyed and 2 damaged, altogether 3. So Germany will replenish these stocks, and this is big, very big. It costs also a lot of money. Danke schön, German people and German government for doing this. Whatever with the Taurus missile, this is big. HIMARS have proven themselves to be incredibly effective in reducing Russian meat to red mist. So buying HIMARS is the best thing Germany can do. Also, for other countries, buying Patriot missiles would also be a very necessary thing to do right now. HIMARS and Patriot. And now, my friends, for the last time of this week, I will butcher some monthly members of Buy Me a Coffee, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to do what I do, for allowing me to fight for Ukraine more effectively. I'll butcher your names. Skaun and Quempel, Conor Link, PNV, Colin Paulovic, Petteri, Jaroslava Petukhova, Keagi, Alex Kanakis, and Richard Driver, and finally Jochen Miva. Thank you to these 10 people, and if you like my channel, you know what to do. Until my next video, my friends, which will be on Monday, Slava Ukraini, and bye-bye.